Hi everyone, it's the 27th of March 2018 in New Zealand, and today this is going to be the first of the series of the second phase of pregnancy, 12 weeks to 24 weeks. It would be really great if phase 1 would start and we'd know it, and would end when we know it, and phase 2 would start when we know it, and phase 2 would end when we know it, but that's not true. We actually don't know that we're pregnant instantaneously, and as a man, you won't know until the woman tells you. Her behavior begins to change somewhere between 3 and 6 weeks into the pregnancy after conception, but it's always been very vague for women as to when they're pregnant. Even now with the urine dipsticks, feeling pregnant is different than knowing you're pregnant. So as a man, you're trying to figure out and scratch your head as to what's going on. But the one thing that you need to know is that there are now 10 pregnancy skills that dads developed so that you could use them. So what happens from 12 to 24 weeks, which is phase 2? First of all, your pregnant partner has increasingly felt fat because her belly hasn't grown big enough for people to see her as being pregnant. At 12 weeks, the top of the uterus can be felt above the pubic bone. Prior to that, the uterus was growing inside the bony tube of the pelvis. But at 12 weeks, you can just feel it as a sort of a curve of like a baseball. And from 12 weeks to 24 weeks, the uterus grows from there to the navel, where it becomes really a shape. So when the woman begins to look pregnant, she begins to feel better about herself. So as a dad, you need to not call her fat, or not joke when she can't fit into her clothes, because women are very sensitive about that if you haven't figured that one out yet. The second thing that happens for women between 12 and 24 weeks is they still can't feel the baby move. Most women begin to feel a flutter somewhere around 18 to 22 weeks, and if they've been pregnant before, then that flutter may come a wee bit sooner, but not much sooner. So you as a father and outside, you won't probably feel the baby move, and maybe just slightly, by about 22 to 24 weeks, which makes it very complicated. By then, you've been pregnant 5 months. So 5 months, your baby has been growing inside this woman's body, and you can't touch it. So it's a bit unreal for fathers. The good news is if she's had a lot of morning sickness or felt queasy, somewhere between 12 and 16 weeks, that goes. Some women do stay sick and have hypervomiting throughout pregnancy, but that's not true for most women. Most women, once the uterus has come up above the pubic bone and once the placenta is now taking over the hormone functions of the pregnancy, which occurs around 12 weeks, most women begin to feel better, which for you and those 10 pregnancy skills that other dads developed is like, oh, yay. And also women's emotions begin to stabilize. Everybody has now figured out we're going to have a baby. The first 12 weeks, it's like, oh, we're going to have a baby. Oh, this was planned. Yay. Whoops, changes, not planned. Oh, wow, what are we going to do? So between 12 and 24 weeks, that emotional part of maintaining a pregnancy and perhaps keeping a baby or making a decision to adopt settles down a little bit. And this will help you as a guy. So remember, over the next few yaks that I'm going to do in this phase, we're going to talk about those 10 pregnancy skills that dads developed. They're in no particular order, but you have to give them an order because talking's linear. So kindness, awareness, patience, attention to detail, seeing what needs to be done and doing it. Second set of arms, second set of eyes, humor, delight, and clarity. And as mentioned before, these skills morph in each of these phases. Some of them come more up and some of them recede back. But they're always skills you can use for yourself, to your baby, or to your baby's mother. And that morphing changes well, how much emphasis you place on how you use these skills towards yourself, your baby, or your baby's mother. So join us in this. And remember, we have a Fathers to Be Pregnancy Academy on Udemy that goes through this phase specifically. So talk to you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.